Let's see if this is working. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, I'm just gonna pop open this and this. Cool. I want to go to here. Stream manager. Okay, there's one that's up. And I need to check this side. Beautiful. Cool. I have to trim myself here. This should be working. I'm just double checking. I can see myself live there. If I just go live there, is this gonna pop up? Okay. Hello. I'm just gonna make sure that this is working. We've got sound, audio, all that jazz. I'm just gonna check quickly here. Hello. I'm just gonna make cool. That one's working and beautiful. Alrighty, we're live. So hello, and welcome to part 2 of this little series we're going on today, which is creating a suitcase based off this little render that I saw, which will up here. So I saw this little really cool product animation from a company called Flare Studios Official. Check them out on Instagram. They're really cool. They're great. And yeah, essentially I saw this ad, thought I want to try and recreate it. And so in the first half of the stream, which was earlier today, I got this far, so we've made this much of a bag. We're just making a sort of generic suitcase. At the moment, it is based off a July suitcase, which has been advertising online quite a bit that I actually own as well. But I'm not going to do it exactly to the T, so we're going to have a few more bits of, just a bit more detail to give it a bit more of that, like, depth in the animation. Because as you can see with this American Tourist one that they've got quite a few ridges in there, and it looks quite cool when you get to some of these close-ups. You get some really cool little shadows in there, which could be fun. And the July one, it is very nice and simple, but as you can see, it's got the brand name, which we're not going to copy because we're just going to make a spec ad, but we'll add a few more little ridges and stuff in here to make it a bit interesting. Now, where we left off was with a zipper that I was making. So I got this far where I'd modeled a little zipper, as you can see, and I've modeled one half of it, and I tried grabbing this, like this edge here, duplicating it, removing it from the selection, and then turning that into a curve, and then applying the zip around. But I realized that there's probably a better way to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that and just go back to the actual original zipper that we have here, which is the pre-arrayed version. Beautiful. And let's have a look at our second zipper, which is on a curve. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the curve, and as you can see, there's a lot going on there. So let's just find where the zip is living. Beautiful. And what I might also want to do is just go to duplicate that. Oh, please don't glitch out. And if awesome. So if I flip that by 180, just to create the other side of the zip, I wonder if this will work. Cool. And then what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to potentially move that up a smidge, something like this. Awesome. And then I might just grab these little vertices here and see what happens if I drag them down. Lovely, that's beautiful. Cool, so we've got a sort of attachment on that side. Now this side here doesn't want to seem to attach, which is unfortunate, but that's all right. What if I just delete that side? So that one's got the teeth to hold it in place. These ones here are going to be attached separately. That's fine. Cool. So we've got our zip here. Yeah, you can see if we extend that out. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do from here is what do I want to do? Sorry. Okay. So from here, what I want to do is I want to go back to my suitcase model, which we've got here. Let's have a look. And as you can see, we've got a handle going on. We've got a little crease here. But what I realized is I need a crease on the other side as well, where the zip is going to live. Because at the moment, can't quite live here on top of the handle. So I'm going to have to create another subdivision over here of sorts. So if I go down here and just select this whole vertice line, beautiful, that's all the way around. Turn that into edge mode, edge select. Let's go to edge select again. Maybe I just actually select that edge on its own like this. Cool. So we've got our edge, and from there I'm going to want to. Can we bevel anything? We don't want to do that. If I just duplicate that across, can I then select these inside faces or no? No, because I don't do anything different. Okay. How might I want to do this? Maybe if I just move the handle over. I move the handle off center. Cool. I want to turn on shadows so I can just see a bit more depth. Because I want to actually see like the cavities in here. Okay, so we've moved the handle over. That's a great start. And then this side here is what I want to inset. Beautiful. Maybe I should select these faces. Cool. And then if I drag them in a little bit. How's that looking? Not great. Okay. What if I inset it? No, that doesn't work either. Okay. So, we've got a slight issue here at the moment. So that's all looking fine until we get down to this section. And so for some reason, okay, there's like double edges going on there. That's the issue. It's like a double face situation. So is there a way to like merge these two? Not like that though. Yeah, okay, so I think this is my issue here. So if I just grab one, oh, hold on, there are two vertices there? No? Okay. If I just grab this edge here and drag that down, and grab this, what if I dissolve this edge? Okay, so I can just dissolve some edges. That seems to work fine for me. Again, geometry on this on this is not great, but we're just trying to create, you know, a nice little suitcase that we can do some product animation to. So I might see what happens if I just remove a little bit from here. That's not going to look great. You know what? Let's just leave. If I fill that, oh, beautiful, that works. Cool. So let's just extend those two, fill that one. Lovely. And let's go up to the top. Sorry. I'm fine with that side. And up here is what I want to fix. And then we sort of delete. Not that one. Hold on. Where's this little face? That's what I want to get rid of. Perfect. Cool. So there's that side gone, and that's fixed. Beautiful. So now I've got that side of the suitcase done. Perfect. Hello, hope you're feeling better. Hey Ron, yeah, sorry, I haven't seen the message yet. I'm trying dual streaming at the moment. I'm feeling better, thank you for asking. I was off for like 3 days or so, so hopefully we're all good now. Kind of pretty crook on the first day, so on the second, and then yesterday I was like, I went, set everything up, and then just like was not feeling it. Like I started speaking, crashing. Thank you. Yeah, I've updated the audio situation and the camera situation. I should move that away so we're not going to clip because that's a very loud metal water bottle that I've got today. So I'm actually rocking let me see if I can get this up. So I've got my camera here, which is like a little Blackmagic pocket camera. It's when I was back in my filming days, and I attached my Rode mic on top. Now the camera, I have to send this into the sensor's all fucked, but the microphone works great. So I've plugged the mic into the camera to power it, and then plug that into the computer, and then the audio is running into OBS. So hopefully this is working a little bit better now. Little jerry rig situation, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. And as you can see, there's a couple of lights going on as well because it's quite dark. I'm still going to make it a more permanent situation for the lights because at the moment it's looking. If I remove these lights, it goes down to like a super dark kind of situation, which isn't horrible. But I'm trying to like get a bit more brightness in there, which might look a bit grim, but it's fine. We'll get there eventually. So yeah, if you've heard, making this little suitcase here to follow an ad that I saw online. I did the first half of the stream this morning, and we're on part 2 now where we're finishing off the suitcase modeling. Now, yeah, as you can tell, again, geo is not super strong here, but that's fine because no one's actually going to see, you know, the intricacies of this geometry. It's more so just for the actual aesthetics that I want to go for. So as long as I can get something that looks decent and looks nice, I'll be happy with that. And you know, when you have a little product animation like this, it should look pretty cool, hopefully. Cool, so we've got our little suitcase going on here. And what I'm gonna want to do is I want to make a, I want to put, whatchamacallit, yeah, I want to put zippers over this thing. And preferably somewhere, or if I could run them along the middle there, that'd be perfect. Let's have a look. Let's bring them down here and just drag them along. Did you end up streaming, by the way, on the weekend? I didn't end up being able to catch it. Let's take a look. Sorry, let's pull up the page. Good. Thanks. All right. Sorry, all good, all sorted, all solid. Let's pop over this side here too. Now that the photo do something on fair. I would wish that I had a garden, I'll be honest, living in an apartment at the moment, and that is one thing that I do miss from living at home, is the lack of a, you know, outside green space that you're able to actually use for yourself. Because I think in London they've got, I'm not sure whereabouts you are in the UK, but I'm pretty sure in London they've got like community gardens, which is pretty cool. From what I've heard, it sounds like a decent thing. My partner does, she does town planning, and she did like a research paper on community gardens, and I remember she saying that there's some sort of like allotment situation going on in the UK, which is pretty cool. So I'm not sure if that is your situation, but that was a cool thing that I learned about recently, is the whole community garden situation they've got going on over there. It seems really, really exciting, really like nice to be able to have like a piece of land, if that is actually the case, to call your own, that you can look after. Because I know we've got some sort of situations like that in Sydney, but I also know that sometimes those community gardens just do end up getting used for growing weed and stuff, which, you know, maybe not the best if it's in a community situation. Let's have a look how this is coming along. Okay, if I dupe that, separate it by selection, cool, and I can just try to live in the, oh damn, oh beautiful. That's very, very cool. I'm not going to pretend to know much about, you know, the village side in the UK, but that sounds very nice. Interesting skill to be learning, like that's like a, you know, 3D animation and countryside living, I guess. That's not, you know, a typical path, I'd assume, but that's really cool. That's really exciting. So you're living there at the moment, beautiful. How do you like find out about, you know, Blender and 3D and all that jazz? Let's just extend that upwards. Let's go. Can I actually turn this into... Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to turn this into a curve again, but I'm guessing it's going to be all fucky. Convert to curve. Let's see how this looks. I'll grab my zipper and my curve modifier. Oh, well, that's very interesting. I've not heard of what that a data space is. That like more coding based, like that kind of databases, or what? So. Been using that. Because yeah, I had someone earlier. Because I'm doing this multi-stream thing now. I've got chat on Twitch and on YouTube because I'm trying to get my watch hours up to YouTube because it's been a while when I've kind of dipped. And someone was saying, yeah, they had a similar thing, but they were doing graphic design and they've been learning Blender for a couple of years as well. Open source database. Oh, very interesting. I'll look into that. Sounds really cool. Can't say I've heard of it before, but that's really interesting. Open source relational database management system, emphasizing extensibility and skill compliance. Wow, very cool. And I assume Blender then is not a part of that. It's like a, you know, thing on the side that you've been doing, or is it something that you? I'm not going to pretend to know what that is, unfortunately, but I'm guessing it's something on the side that you've been like learning and all that jazz. Kind of cool that you've got, you know, open source for work and also open source for software here as well. It's a nice little package situation. It is actually interesting that how you know, this whole open source situation is really good for creatives in general. It's like, you know, you've got a lot more open source products now, which means, you know, people can actually build shit a lot easier for these programs, which is really cool. How the fuck am I gonna do this? God, it is late and I'm knackered, but we're gonna push through and actually make something here today, hopefully. Lovely. Okay. Come on, where's that curve? Fuck, is that curve gone? Suitcase. I'm gonna move this over to the side. All right. Cool. What if I just snap it to that object actually? Beautiful. Okay. So now, if I run this, so select these two individually. Let's have a look. First, use a program called Bryce 3D, and then Blender later. I've not heard of Bryce 3D before. That's very interesting. Oh, damn, this is very cool. Oh, developed by Dice 3D. Okay, I've heard of that. They have some cool stuff going on. Interesting. This is very cool. It's giving like early 2000s. That's awesome. That's really cool. I'm gonna watch this video later. So it's kind of awesome, like learning, you know, all these other softwares that used to be around, and you know, well, I'm not sure if this one is anymore, but when I was at one of my previous companies, I learned about a software called, oh, what was it? It was one they used to animate the Lego Movie. Because it wasn't done in Maya, it was done in something else. No, not Lego Digital Designer. Let's see. It does an old 32-bit software. Very interesting. Old 3D software alternative to Maya. What was it called? It was none of these. It's none of these. It's none of these. Damn. Well, yeah, there used to be an alternative to Maya that was used, and it was like the software that Animal Logic was using, which is really cool. Good companies always get bought out. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, even the first place that I was at, Animal Logic, that did that. Not to glaze and all, but you know, they did the Lego Movie and Peter Rabbit and all that really cool stuff. They were like the guys in Australia. They've just been bought out by Netflix recently, actually, which was a pretty big acquisition, and it's been like seemingly quiet over there since. This happened, 2 years ago. Big company bought out, tends to get away, and then sometimes things go quiet for a bit. I know it's happened quite a bit with smaller companies as well, where they'll buy. Sometimes what a big company will do is they'll come in and they'll buy, the company for the software and the staff, and they'll kind of port it all over to their new shit and just let the company to kind of dissolve and die, unfortunately. But as long as the people are still staying employed, I guess that's the most important thing. But it's unfortunate when you see these really cool, like, homegrown talent companies that do end up getting sort of swallowed up and eaten. But I guess that is kind of capitalism. Now, this is just being a fucking nightmare, as you can see. So I'm not loving how this is going so far. Let's see if I can merge anything here. Because, there's doubles on that, isn't there? Let's just split that down, separate that down to one on either side. Yeah, I've always said I'm never going to be the best 3D artist, but I'll give it a shot and I'll have some fun while doing it, and maybe I'll learn something along the way. Which, if you've been watching for a bit, you can definitely tell that's the case. But that's not so much the point with these. It's just kind of trying to make something fun whilst doing it. Why did that hide? Snap to active. Where'd my zipper go? What's going on here now? This is just so wacko. Okay, if I delete that vertex, no, that's not that one. I want to go over to this side. Delete. Okay, found the issue. I'm going to go 1, 2, merge it to How do I merge these ones? Dissolve vertices? Nope, not what I want. Interesting. Okay. So that's kind of running in its own loop along there. So I want to get rid of that. Get rid of those two. Okay. And if I extrude this one up, can I join these two vertices? Make segment. Nope, not the right button. I want to go. Nope. Is it not? Oh, make segment. Interesting. What if I delete those two? It's just gonna keep going down. This is fucked. Okay. So I'm gonna jump back onto the chat for a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, so nice. Big company buy it, say they'll keep it good, say they won't get rid of anyone, then usually slowly make it worse and lay off half. That is true words that have literally not been spoken skills. Depends what you mean by good. Some people are good at artistic visual side, but suck at technical vice versa. Dad did some bug fixes and stopped. It's too old to do anything. M is greater at last. Is that M is in Maya? Yeah, I mean, as you might know, Maya is used as like a. I don't know if that is what you meant by M is greater than last, but no, it's not. Okay, because yeah, that software I've definitely got my own issues with, but unfortunately, it is the industry standard, so I've had to learn it recently. Yeah, when clicking, yeah, I've got for some reason in curve mode, it's just not letting me select M. Because usually, yeah, when you're in vertex, oh, you know what I might do? If I convert this back to a mesh, then I can do it. Because yeah, I was trying to click M before, it wasn't working, but now if I merge, yeah. Thank you. Let's see if this will work this time. And then grab you, drag that one all the way down to there. I want to merge that at last. Thank you very much, Skittles. Yeah, it was a curve, but I just changed it back to a mesh object where it's just vertices. And then hopefully now this looks a lot cleaner. Beautiful. And now we can convert that back to a curve. Beautiful. Okay, we can grab our zipper, which is fucking tiny. Wow. Okay. And now I want to go array modifier. It was arrayed down by like 0.7. 0.7. Beautiful. And then we're going to go curve and slap that onto the curve. And it disappears. Okay. What's this here? With curves, to complete the curve, there is a cyclic setting. Oh, interesting. Where might I find that? Let's see. I assume it's not in any of these little sections. So my issue right now is usually I'd do this fit curve thing, which is what I found out about the other day, but yeah, that doesn't want to work right now with a joint circuit. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got, if I go all the way around, we've got this situation going on. Okay, which obviously is far off, but isn't the worst thing in the world. No, I lied. That is definitely the worst thing in the world. Why does this look so shit? Only on curve object. Let's see. Same sort as green triangle. So you said with curves, to complete the curve, there is a cyclic setting. Spline geometry. This little guy here. Interesting. For some reason, it's just not wanting to like attach onto the curve. Active spline. Yeah, there we go. Okay, beautiful. So it should be cyclic now, which is good. But this zipper is now just what's giving me a little bit of strife. So let's see. Oh my god, I'm like jumping around like a madman, not knowing what I'm doing. Okay, I want it to be on. First of all, let's zero everything out. No, that's fine. Let it go. I'm like going crazy right now, and this is not as fun as it was earlier because. Okay, we've got this. Now I want to make it upright. Cool. So I've got it upright, and I want to bring it to the side of my curve. So I want it to be here. Fuck, that's the wrong way again. I want it to be like this and be able to follow, sorry, not that way, like this. Okay, so the plan is make the curve follow this, make the zipper follow this curve. Both curve and mesh need to match at origin. Okay, let's send them both back to origin. Where the fuck did it go? Okay. Origin. Thank you for these notes as well. This is I'm hoping that it works, and we'll see right now because that sounds correct. But again, I am, as Charlotte Claire said, I am stupid and I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Okay, deform axis along Z, and then go for a drive. Oh, okay, it has worked. I'm hoping that this is facing the right way, because if it is, we've done it. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, usually I do just go along the x-axis, but right now I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna be saying that I'm extremely happy with how that's turned out. Okay. Just because I keep making mistakes, as you can see, my file management right now isn't top notch either. But you know what we're gonna have to do is actually send that back a bit because I'm gonna need to array even more. Okay. So if I send it back to here, if I plug another array modifier under there, is that gonna fuck it? It is. Okay. You know what? That's fine. I'm just gonna send it halfway. We're going to send it halfway, and then we can just duplicate it, chuck it upside down, and pretend it's never happened again. Doesn't have to be pretty, remember, it just has to look correct. I didn't realize there'd be a limit on array modifiers as well. That's interesting to know. Okay, let's bring everything back now. And, of course, save it. Let's bring this over to our suitcase. Snap to active. Oh, please fucking work. Beautiful. Okay, we have a zipper. Lovely, done. Okay, we've got our little zipper running around the outside now. Following down there, following under, and going up, and it just chucks out there, which we can just, select a couple of these guys. Oops, sorry. If I just go L, 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 L to link those, and just send them up a bit. Beautiful. Again, yeah, it's just got to look good from afar. Cool, we've got our zipper on there now. So we've got our bag, we've got our zipper. I wrote before, these are the notes we're going to do. Zipper, done. Beautiful, thank you so much for that, Skittles. That was an incredible help. Okay, next step is to make the wheels. And I promise usually it's not, well, I'm sure Ron can prove me wrong with this, but it's usually not this janky-ish. We're going to work on the wheels now. So I think I have let's see if there are any more images here. I was using this like July suitcase here, and I was taking photos from here. I'm just wondering if they have any like photos of the wheels close up. Not really. Oh, that could be alright. I've started using Opera today actually because Chrome just kept on just running my RAM through the roof. Let's see if we can do this. So, I mean, I got suckered in by the YouTube ads, but it is free at the moment. And I've decided to try and use Opera today. So we'll see if this actually does work. But regardless, my computer's running faster than usual. So even if it's not, to do with the browser that I'm using, I'll use that for now. But when I was using Chrome, the reason for this little mini rant is I had a little add-on that allowed me to, instead of saving to WebP, it'd say like, save as JPEG, PNG, yada yada yada. But unfortunately now on this Opera GX, it's saving stuff as WebP files again, which sucks. But what can you do? Oof, okay. Also, little teaser for tomorrow as well. I went by the shops today and found this little guy, a Lego McLaren set for the Senna McLaren, which I'm going to probably do some sort of. I saw a model online on Sketchpad for a McLaren MP4, so I was thinking of tying something together with building this little guy to try and do like a longer stream. Have some of that, some 3D, and try something out there, which could be interesting. But we'll see how that goes. All right, let's pop that over to the side. Okay. Oh, sorry. Mute that. Okay. Never thought I'd say this, but I like Edge and still use Opera. I'll be honest with you. I will say the exact same thing. I've used Edge a few times, and I know I haven't used it in a little while. They've got like reward systems that make it seem fun. I don't know what the fuck goes on here. There's like some crazy ads and stuff that come up sometimes. But like, these little reward systems make it seem enjoyable to use the software, which is great. They have it worked out if they have worked out that if they have a worse search engine, people scroll further and click more result, they can advertise more. That's probably true. Yeah, it's frustrating. It'll be interesting to see what happens when, like, ChatGPT, if we ignore the whole, replacing jobs part of it, actually starts to threaten Google a little bit. Because I think they were threatened recently by TikTok, because there was some articles coming out that, and I've fallen prey to this as well. Of, when you go to look up a recipe or you want to look up something online, you usually go to like YouTube or Google, but people have found themselves just going to TikTok saying like, how do I make this? And it comes up in a minute. Or like, what does this mean? And someone will explain it to you. And it's just a really quick, easy way of getting like that instant feedback. And I saw recently as well, TikTok's got a new like thing where if you search something, it'll give like an AI summary as well, which is kind of interesting. So it's not always correct, but it's an interesting way of turning TikTok into like a search engine, which I thought was really, really cool. It'd be interesting to see what happens if it does actually get banned. But until then, they are seriously threatening Google for that top spot. Because I know they've taken a bunch of watch hours away from YouTube, hence YouTube Shorts being introduced, and with that whole search engine thing, that's another big killer. And then with OpenAI and their latest things, who knows what's going to be happening to the so-called king of search engines. It's a very wary time for them. Alrighty, where's my little guy gone? Okay, here's my wheel. And I think it's pretty much... Okay, cool. So we just want to make a mirror modifier. And I think all we're going to do is... Let's see. Along the x-axis now. Where's the rest of the wheel? Oh, is that on the other side of the mirror? No? Where the fuck? Set origin to volume. Mirror that. There it is. Okay. Alright, whatever. These axes are messing my head up. Sometimes AI can be really useful because when it's wrong, it can be really completely wrong and dangerous trust. Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's the whole like, it can be really cool as a tool just to like help you get a little bit of the way there, but you shouldn't be trusting your whole entire process on that because it can just be really messy. And then there's that whole argument of the whole dead internet theory and what if all this like AI garbage just starts taking over the real. I don't know if this is actually it, but if all the information starts becoming AI and then you have a bunch of misinformation, you don't really know what's true or not anymore. It just becomes a bit of a hellscape at that point. You don't know what you're searching for, what's real, what's fake. It just becomes way too messy. And I don't know if you've seen those like Facebook boomer memes online when they've got those like AI images of kids making statues of Jesus out of water bottles. And there's like hundreds of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of like bot comments. It's just like a weird like dumpster fire going on over there. If you haven't seen, it's like this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, made a gorilla today from plastic and it will have like 100 million likes and it's clearly AI. Or like shrimp Jesus was a massive one that went around. Or like all these little, what an amazing photo, and it's just got hundreds of thousands of likes going on, which just becomes a whole new argument going there. Hard to stop making itself worse by ingesting bad data. Exactly, yeah. Now, I'm just going to have to take a quick little pause since I'm getting a phone call, but I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, we're back. Sorry about that. When the girlfriend calls, obviously you have to answer. Just checking in because she was finishing work late tonight. So I think the plan for today will be to finish off this suitcase, and then tomorrow we're going to try and do the actual animation side of things. So for now, what I want to do is just actually put these like wheels on it and go from there. When GPT-3 first came out, it was like way better because initially built it on mostly good data and training, but then when they released it to us, to the world, and it got, here we go. Sorry, when they released it to us in the world, it started loading off humans and it went back as well. Oh, 100%. Also, sorry if you are like between the two streams. I've got Twitch on one side with the chat here, which I'll just, I'm not sure if there's any streams here that I'm going to leave here. No, probably not. So I've got Twitch chat on this side, and then on my laptop, I've got another chat over this side. So we've got two conversations going on, which I potentially realize is maybe a bit of an issue with this multi-streaming. Hi, Cilion as well. Thank you for coming back. So, oh yeah, we'll go to the AI thing first. Absolutely correct. You've got, the dumbest, not to be rude, but yeah, you've got the masses. You've got a lot of smart people, but you've also got, the dumbest of the dumb sometimes, unfortunately. And when you feed, constant misinformation into AI and it starts to train on that, and it just becomes more of a dumpster fire. And then you've got the whole other side of that as well, where, who's the one to decide what is the good information for the AI to learn and what is the bad information? And then where do they, where's the licensing for all that? There's just like a whole lot of mess that comes with that. And legality, and it's the reason why so many of these companies are getting sued at the moment, because they started by taking good data, and then now, it's caught up to where it can ingest real-time data. But the issue there is, there's a whole other ethical issue there of who can decide what data is good or not. And then to go over to YouTube chat real quick. Sorry, Cilion's just jumped back in. Thanks for joining again. I'd like to say I almost completed it, but as the people over on Twitch can attest to, that took so much longer than it should have. It was a bit of a shitstorm, but we're here now. We're happy, mostly. Yeah. And you also asked, have I tried developing characters in Blender? I think they're pretty difficult unless you have an idea of autonomy and how they actually work. Are they require some drawing skills? Yeah. So one of the most common questions that I do get asked is like, which I'm sure any 3D artist does, is, you do animation, you do this, you should be able to draw. And I, unfortunately, am not a great artist, like traditional art-wise. I really wish that I was, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. My art, I've tried a lot of times, just doesn't look great. And I think that is definitely something when it gets into like actual like 3D modeling that's not this kind of hard surface objects. Because you can make houses, that's fine. That's like architectural drawings and stuff. Those are pretty simple to learn. But as soon as it comes to anatomy, it becomes a whole new like skill level to use, and that's something that I just haven't unfortunately mastered yet, or even gotten close to mastering. So I think that's something that I definitely did miss out on, not taking a more traditional sort of route. Is that whole actually learning how to do the base levels of modeling and animation. But everyone learns at their own rates, and I think I will definitely try something like that along the way. Improve some actual character and creature modeling, because it's a really important skill to have. Hard surface is good, but if you want to actually make some money, a lot of people pay for proper creature modeling, which we'll get eventually. Alrighty, so we've got our wheels here now. We've got Suitcase, we've got wheels, which we can now mark off. And we need a lock on top. I think that's going to be the second last thing we're going to make tonight. Yeah, it is interesting. I know there's a lot of channels online that do actually really good modeling tutorials. So that could be something that I might want to follow along. I've actually had an idea of, doing one of those like follow along tutorials where you do just go start to finish. Because one of my big things, I don't know if you guys feel this as well, when I'm trying to learn something new, I'll want to like look for a tutorial, but the instant gratification side of you goes, what's like a quick tutorial that I can learn and watch? And you end up watching something that's, I can do this kind of thing in 3 minutes, and it looks really cool. But then you go, I've just learned how to, do one super ultra specific, make one ultra specific model that I'm probably never going to actually be able to use. And unfortunately, that's how you start to hit a wall, as opposed to watching like a Blender donut tutorial for starting, or like any of those 12-part series on how to create human characters. those are where you actually, like, properly learn how to make things, but they just take a lot more time. So I think now that I've got a bit of free time from work, I'm going to try and make some, some real things, follow some proper tutorials and actually do some things. I do have an idea for a game as well it started off as a TV show, started off as a short film, then it became a TV show, and I'm kind of trying to see if I can port it into a game idea, and I think that could be an interesting thing, because I know a lot of people do like game jam things online here, and so that might be something that I want to try out as well sometime in the future. So if you are interested, let me know. It's definitely more in YP scale than Y. Yeah, no, I realize that, unfortunately. I think this kind of cornice molding, if that's what it's called, is sort of interesting. So I might try and stick with this for now. Let's just make a little spot in the middle here for the keyhole. And then if I want to insert that, give it some subdivisions. And then where's that circularize tool that I found earlier? That's definitely not it. Yeah, no, that's not it. Cool. There we go. Subdivide that a bunch, and then circularize this. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. So we've got our little keyhole here for our lock. Keyhole, and then the last thing we want is to make our number spinners. Yeah, I think one thing that I've definitely got to learn is just, again, as I've said it 100,000 times, just basic rules of modeling and animation. Because things like that, you learn one bad habit, like right there, I just went SY, scale it this way, and then when you go to bevel it, it bevels incorrectly. Whereas if I was to do it, I think potentially this way, and then bevel that, completely different model. So it's all about, actually learning the workflows correctly and doing it in edit mode so it's better. Alrighty, let's go to super ellipse. Cool. And then just go to array. If anyone's got any ideas on what could be a good place to start for that as well, I'm definitely all ears, because yeah, I've got a lot to learn, clearly. Let's go here. Raise that up. Beautiful. There's our spinny lock. Okay, so I'm going to hide these guys here. Send them into, make sure that I've actually just got the right ones. Let's grab all our empties. Let's go call these reference images. Pretty modeling supply stress. Let's seeing you do it makes a lot. Look, yeah, at the end of the day, it is just practice. It's just all I'm doing here. I think I wanted to try and, here, let's just delete this little guy here. I think, sorry, for the Twitch streamers as well. Hi, Mr. Potatoes as well. Nice to see you. Sorry, I have to go watch the vlogs later. Take care, bro. See you guys. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. Yeah, I'm going to have to head off in probably 10 minutes or so as well. But yeah, it's been really cool so far. And please do, check out tomorrow. I'll be online probably around the same time. Over to Silly on YouTube. Hi, Mr. Potatoes as well. Thank you for joining in. Making a suitcase here for a little mock ad we're making. So for the question here, what was your longest Blender project and how long did it take you to complete it? That is a very interesting question, because one of the big things that I found, I'm not sure if you found a similar thing, is you've got, your whole imposter syndrome and all that, but trying to actually take a project to completion is a big, like especially a solo project when the outcome is just you putting it out into the world, is a whole other level of motivation you've got to kind of learn to do and to work with, because there's so many projects that I've started, a few years ago. I'll save them, I'll get halfway through, and then just put it on pause and try something else. I've been using Blender for since mid 2019, I want to say. So it's probably been about 5 years, and that's been on and off though, because I was at uni from 2018, 19, 20, and then master's 2021, and I've worked 22, 23, 24. Yeah, so 2019 is when I started learning Blender, halfway through my undergraduate course. And yeah, it's a whole thing of I'd start a project, and then I'd come back to it a few years later and be like, oh, I'm going to finish this now. So technically the longest project I've, that's taken to complete has probably been several years. But that's more, yeah, you go looking in old files and you go, oh shit, this was so cool. I'm going to jump back into it and actually make the render. But in reality, the longest project that I've worked on in Blender, like from start to finish, when I've actually actively been working on it, has probably been a couple of months. And I wouldn't even know where those are anymore because, you know, a few hard drives ago, unfortunately. But I think these little small scale projects, you know, you can do in a day, but if you're gonna make them good, you know, say 2-3 days at this stage to make. If I wanted to, okay, example, right? If I wanted to make a duplicate of this animation, which is what I'm trying to go for, if I properly sat down, you know, no streaming, just actually tried to smash it out, realistically, I could probably get this done without rendering time included, obviously. Could probably get that done now in a day. But if you went back, you know, say 3 years ago before I started working professionally, that would have taken me maybe 2-3 weeks. And it's just that kind of learning little tricks and skills here to get that workflow quicker. And just, you know, it's not always bad to, like, it's important to finish your projects, but end of the day, it isn't bad to try and, you know, do multiple ones and learn new things as well. Because what I found, you know, if you just find you're not getting anywhere, it is okay to put it aside for a bit, work on that, and then work on it, you know, later and try something else in the meantime, because you might pick up new skills when you're doing these other projects that you can then bring back to your old ones. So it is just like a big trial and error kind of thing. Mr. Potato says, we've got a couple projects on polls and pause. I wanted it finished, but I lost those files. Oh, that's literally the worst thing. It is horrible when you come through and you just, you know, you go back to a file and you go, oh fuck, like half the shit's missing. I found that in Unreal Engine so many times that I'm trying to make, like, you know, a little short film in there when I was big into that. It'd be so easy for stuff to go missing and then it's ruined. One project I kept making copies of, save, collecting images and mesh references, folded up in 40 gigabytes. Oh, so drive too big. Yeah, literally, that's a big part of it as well. I was saying earlier today, and yeah, same thing with graphic design or like any sort of, you know, coding or any of that, any sort of artistic thing. You know, you start something, you put it on pause, you finish it years later. But we were saying earlier, you know, a big issue with these kind of, you know, with your any sort of 3D modeling or Blender or Maya or whatever you want to do is, and even with graphic design, your files just get so big, and you go to start cleaning through your computer, and you'll be like, oh, what's this 40 gigabyte file that I haven't touched in 2 years? I'll delete it. But then, you know, a couple months later, you go, oh fuck, I wish I could have continued that, and it's just, it's that endless struggle of trying to get more storage and not wanting to buy more storage. It's a whole nother thing, you know. So yeah, there's accidental deleting, there's on purpose deleting. It's frustrating. Now I'm going to add some final extra details here, I think. So what I might do is I want to have a look at what the American Tourister had some lines across. What we might do here, if we can, is try and do something on the corners. Because I know a lot of these suitcase companies, they've got, let's see, some sort of a like molding on the outside here. So if I extrude this one, hold on, let's just do a test. If I select that, duplicate it, bring it upwards, and then bring it in, yeah, this kind of thing, where you get some sort of like a protective barrier. I want to do something like that on each of these. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to here, grab the middle faces. Let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't look right there. Cool. So I'm just going to select these little middle faces here, and then we'll go from there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time I actually do a cleanup and delete something, I always delete it later, but whenever I don't delete it, I have to use it again. Literally, it's that like, it's kind of like, it's probably not. I said it in my head. I'm going to say it out loud because it's stupid, but it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat-ish, you know? It's like, when it's there, you don't need it. When it's not there, you do need it. It's that whole like, you don't need something until you don't know what you got till it's gone. All those little adages and, you know, songs and all that shit. It's just, it's frustrating because it's a forever struggle that, unfortunately, I didn't realize that every single person ends up facing. And you delete important shit, which sucks. I'm just gonna do this here. Let's go grab that. Oh, you know what I could do instead of that is potentially just go solidify modifier and just make it actually bigger like this. Yeah, nice. Then we've got our edges there. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so I've got my little suitcase going on here. There's something interesting and finicky going on over this side. What's that weird shadowing happening there? Oh, well, probably nothing. Anyway, here's our suitcase. So I've got a little bit of extra detailing there. We might actually do the July thing and just put our name across the center there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into text. Let's go text, pop that up like this. Put in my name, which is Jovan. Hi, the first time shadows are raiding with magical. Oh, we've got a beautiful raid here. Thank you so much, Big Boss and Necromancy. Thank you very much for the nice suitcase. Hey guys, yeah, we're doing a little Blender stream here, actually right at the end of it, unfortunately. But yeah, trying to model a little suitcase here, and we'll be doing some animation on it tomorrow, which is pretty cool. I haven't been raided before. It's really exciting. Thank you to for the Necro raid. I'm not sure who that's from. I'm really not actually a Twitch streamer, but oh, from Necromancy. Awesome. Cool animation indeed. Yeah, I'm a 3D artist currently. Just trying to have some fun, learn some new things, do some cool stuff. And we're actually on the finishing stages here now, as I just said. But feel free to join and just watch the last little steps of our model here. We've made this suitcase, and tomorrow, as I said, we will be turning it into a fun little like spec ad animation kind of thing, which will be fun if you're interested. I'll be jumping on around the same time, hopefully. And I am currently multi-streaming over on YouTube and Twitch, which is why you might see, me look over to the side here sometimes, as you can tell as well by the, janky little lighting setup. And as some of the chatters can probably tell, we've still got a lot to learn, but it's fun in the meantime. What I'm going to do here is just go to Boolean object and just carve this little guy in here. Oh, that's not right. That's definitely not right. Maybe we just make it a... Let's turn it on its side and put it somewhere else. Alrighty. Beautiful. So we've got our little suitcase here. So, thank you guys for watching. You do Maya? Oh, awesome. I'm going to check out your channel then. Because, yeah, I use Maya usually at work, but I'm trying to do more Blender stuff because that was what I got started on. Final little question here from Cillian over in YouTube is, what are the tips you would give to someone who's starting out on their Blender journey, and what things to avoid since there's a lot within Blender? And what's your key focus? So, you use, and over Necromancy, you use Blender for fun. My stream, yeah, sorry, I'm like going crazy here at the moment. Let's see. I still need to learn how to make good models without meshes inside meshes. Yeah, if you ever look at the inside of this model, I'll get to your question in just a second, Cillian, as well, because yeah, very, very good question. But the mesh looks clean, but I promise you it's not. It is janky as hell. But yeah, I usually just do kind of this 3D stuff for fun. But I thought, you know what? I enjoy streaming. I want to try to do some more of it. I enjoy making 3D things. Let's merge them together, see if other people enjoy it. And it seems like so far they do. And for that final question, because we've now got our little suitcase going on here, from Cillian over on YouTube, the question was, what tips would you give to someone starting out in 3D or in Blender specifically? And my biggest tips, which I will come to the next stream with like a little playlist, is number one, don't just find any random tutorial online, because if you just look up Blender tutorials or Maya tutorials, you're going to find, things where people have been learning for years and years, and it's just like a cool little additional thing, and you'll end up, you might make something cool for your first couple tries, but then you go and try and make something yourself and you realize, shit, I actually don't know any fundamentals. So step one is learning just general fundamentals. You'll find someone who does do like learning the basics of Maya or learning the basics of Blender, any of those softwares, even though it seems boring and it seems like it's really long, that is generally the best way to actually get into it. You obviously don't need to go to university or any sort of traditional classes. I did, but it was not everyone does. There are some incredible artists who've never been to university. It's not an important thing. Discord is something that I'll be hopefully pulling up as well sometime soon, but at the moment we don't have that set up. But yeah, if I would say something like that, it would be find some introductory, like from 0 to 100 hours, one of those kind of tutorials where they just take you through. You don't have to do it in a day, it doesn't have to be done in a week, it can be a slow kind of process, but just moving slowly through the stages, learning what each of these little things do. And then potentially, if you have a niche you want to do, like if you just want to learn modeling or if you just want to learn animation, find someone that does entirely that, so you can actually properly learn your niche. My thing that I do is called layout. So I'll put a link in the chat here. But essentially, it's kind of like animation, kind of like Previews if you've heard of it. What I do is it's like cameras but in 3D with a few more extra steps. So I'm the one I'll often bring in, I'll get given a storyboard or a previous file. I will bring in the characters and the set to a scene, and then make the first pass matching the storyboards. You'll make some basic PS2 style janky animations, bring in a camera, that'll get sent to animation where they'll clean that up, comes back to you, and then you'll do the final touches on the camera, with your aperture, your rack focuses, any like actual camera shake, any movements like that. But I'll just put this little link in here because this is a video that I made recently, sort of explaining it. What is a layout artist? Yeah, I'll pin that there. So that's a cool little thing if you do want to check it out. On what I do for work. It's a really fun job, and if you are interested, I'm more than happy to give some advice on how I got into that. But yeah, this is what we're going to end up with today. Thanks for the raid, Necromancy. Thanks everyone for joining in today. I hope you did enjoy, and I'm going to be back on tomorrow. That's the wrong way. I'm using Steam to get hopefully automatic updates with everything. But thank you everyone for joining today. If you did enjoy, please do follow along. I'm going to jump back online tomorrow from around 5 p.m. ish and go from there. So thank you so much, and I will see